Still with Gael Julien, Indonesian French international racer. So, hang on, you're half Indonesian, half French, right?
So I'm half French and half Malagasy, but I was born in Indonesia.
Oh, okay, half French and half Malagasy.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Right, so I've got questions for you. So, do you plan to compete in more tournaments this year, or the race is still going on right now?
Yeah, so the European Le Mans series I'm currently competing and leading in is divided in 6 rounds. So we've currently done 2 and we've got 4 to go.
We've got 4 to go.
Yeah.
Wow, wow.
So after this, where do you see yourself going?
Obviously the European Le Mans series is already quite a big championship, and there's only one step above that, which is the World Championship, and 24 hours of Le Mans is part of the World Championship, so that's the end goal for me.
Wow.
Right, so from LMP3, how long does it take, or what kind of,
Pathway.
is it halfway to LMP2?
Yeah, so LMP3, the category I'm currently in, is the third step, let's say, of the progression to Le Mans. So the next step would be LMP2, and finally hypercars, which is the top category in Le Mans. Yeah, but LMP2 is already raced at Le Mans, so technically the next step is already possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the different hours? Because this one is 4 hours, right? So LMP2 has how many hours, and then it's the 24 hours.
Yeah. So the European Le Mans series has different categories inside one race. So you've got LMP2s, LMP3s, and GT3s all competing in the 4-hour race all together. So the results are split, but we're all running on track at the same time. And then the World Endurance Championship is exclusively limited to hypercars, GT3s, and LMP2s. So LMP3s don't run that.
Oh,
Oh, can you elaborate once again why you chose LMP instead of F1? I mean, in terms of the opportunity, and because you are an inspirational figure, and many people, many boys or girls want to follow your path, right? Why did you choose this path instead of Formula One?
Yeah, I think endurance racing is a unique sport, obviously due to the teamwork you have to put in. The races are quite long, so sometimes you go through a lot of highs, but sometimes you also have to go through some lows. And it's important to have a strong team behind you to share those moments. And, going through all the bad moments, it also makes the wins sweeter. So, yeah.
But at F1, it's a teamwork as well, right?
Yeah, again, Formula One, it's similar, but the fact that you're alone in the car, so anything that you do, good or bad, it's always on you.
Yeah.
Whereas endurance, you're sharing, so it's more with the teamwork aspect, I guess.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to young kids wanting to, go on that pathway to become racers?
Yeah, I think if you can dream it, you can do it. So for sure, keep believing in yourself. That's the first person you have to believe in. And yeah, keep pushing yourself to be the best every day. And, good stuff will come.
Go for it, right?
Yeah.
So, before we continue our chat with Gael Julien, we have some stories about Indonesian racers who go international, right? So, first one is Rio Haryanto. Let's check it out.
So we have Rio Haryanto, who is an Indonesian racer who began his racing career in the 3 Asian-based series in 2008. They're namely the Asian Formula Renault Challenge, Formula Asia 2, and BMW Pacific. He then competed in the more competitive European racing scene in 2010 by joining the Mana Racing team for the Formula One supporting GP3 series. He is the only Indonesian driver to have competed in Formula One to date.
Rio is from Solo, and now he is handling lots of business, including restaurant in Solo. And Kiki, the book printer, printing company.
That's his company?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
His father's company.
Oh, okay, his family's company then. All right, we also have Sean Gael, who was born in 1996 and currently gains more international attention in the world of motorsports. Let's take a look. Right.
Now, he's the son of the owner of KFC Indonesia, Ricardo Gael, and senior Indonesian actress Rini S. Bono. He has displayed a knack for racing since a young age.
So now 27-year-old Indonesian racer Sean Gael was exposed to racing as early as 8 years old. He often served as a navigator for his father, who is also an experienced racer. He has participated in national and international go-kart competitions before eventually competing in Europe in the F3 Europe Series. He became more prominent when he entered the GP2 series in 2016 before joining the Prima racing team in 2018. He also stood out after securing second place in a Monaco feature race.
Sean joined the Dams team in 2020 before notching a memorable victory at the second round of this year's FIA World Endurance Championship in Italy, which lasted for 6 hours. Not just that, he managed to outperform world champion Valentino Rossi in the endurance race.
Wow. Sean uses the BMW M4 GT3 car under the WRT team and has participated in 3 FIA World Endurance Championship LMGT3 class races this season, spanning from Qatar to Belgium. Out of 3 races he was in, he managed to secure the top podium at the Memulai series in Italy. He's now preparing to compete the 24-hour FIA World Endurance Championship in Le Mans.
Wow. All right, next we have Rifat Helmi Sungkar, who has emerged as one of Indonesia's leading racers thanks to his talent and dedication on the track. Rifat Helmi Sungkar has achieved many accolades since he was young. He started by dominating the national racing scene in 1998. Not just that, he won the Sprint Rally Championship 5 times by 2022. But he was not done, as he extended his dominance abroad by clinching the Asia Pacific Rally Championship in 2006 and competing in the prestigious World Rally Championship as well as Rally.
He also used a Mitsubishi Expander to reclaim the Sprint Rally Champion title in Nekata in 2021.
He recently teamed up with Australian navigator Benjamin Sersey to dominate the Lake Toba Rally last year. He then went on to win another round of the Asia Pacific Championship in a Skoda Fabia Rally to Evo. This victory boosted his popularity and cements his position as a renowned racer who brings pride to Indonesia in the international stage.
And I love that, racing is hardly only for men. We spoke about diversity today, right?
Yeah.
And we have women racers in this list too. Of course, we're talking about Kezia Santoso.
The gender has been balancing. Right?
Balancing.
Right, so Kezia Santoso began her career in go-kart before competing in the 2013 Asian Max Challenge and winning the race. Aside from securing the top spot, she also bested other men who came from all over Asia to compete. Afterwards, she raced in the Euro Max Challenge in France, where it cleared the qualification stage to race in the main circuit. She then left racing before returning to compete in Series 2 of the National Championship Sprint Rally in Malang, East Java. Wow, so there are other Indonesian racers who made it internationally, right? So when you said that racing is equivalent to a marathon, what kind of preparations that you do? Because in marathon, you have to prepare 6 months prior, right? But in racing, what kind of preparations, physical activities that you have to do?
Yeah, so you might think sitting in a race car, you don't have much to do physically, but there's a lot of G-force going on inside the car. So think of it as piloting a fighter jet. It's almost that, but on the ground. You have to endure a lot of G-forces during long periods of time, so you have to be physically fit. Your cardio has to be good, your stamina for driving, long periods of time. And strength as well, the mere strength of racing cars is
so you do cardio, strength training, and what else?
Yeah, all of that I do, as well as mental training.
Mental training?
Yeah, because obviously endurance races being very long, you have to be concentrated for massive periods of time. And the more concentrated you are, the easier it is to drive and the faster you drive.
So, can you take us through what does it feel like to be exposed to all the G-force and then you still having to fight through it and focus? Because we people who drive normal cars, right, we're not exposed to that kind of G-force. How does it feel? It's like it's like some people have actually fainted. It's true.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
that's true.
That's
Yeah,
how fit you need to become. And do they put you in this rear what's it called, the pressure chambers and things like that to really train? How does one train for G-force exposure or G-force pressure?
Yeah, I guess G-force is not really a common thing even for most athletes to experience. So if you put a normal person in a racing car, they'll come out probably a bit disoriented. Obviously, G-force affects your body a lot because it puts pressure on your muscles and your head. As a racing driver, the most important thing to train is the neck, because you're quite well buckled into the car, so your body is not moving so much, except for the neck, obviously. And yeah, your neck has to be quite strong to enjoy those races. And yeah, just the fact that your neck has to stay up during hard braking to see where you're going.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow, that's intense though. So we've seen many Indonesian racers who made it internationally, right? In your opinion, what is your take on the current state of Indonesian motorsport?
Yeah, I mean, we've got many representatives such as Gael and other people shining on the international stage. So, you know, Indonesia does have some talent on the world stage. For me, I think Indonesia does lack a little bit of activities in the smaller categories like karting and early categories. And, you know, that's where you spot the talents at a young age. So it's important to invest in those resources and detect young talents. So for me, that's the part where maybe we should focus for the future.
Hang on, like many young racers, you know, we have to be honest that you come from, you know, wealthy family.
Yeah.
Right. Is there any chance that ordinary people, ordinary boys or girls, can compete and enter the race?
I think it's possible for anyone to compete in karting in a competitive manner. Obviously, the higher you go up through the ranks, the more expensive it gets and the less accessible it gets. So it's important for people to get those opportunities early on in karting so that they get the financial backing to continue on the upper echelons of racing.
Do you believe in talent can go far in
Of
racing?
course, yeah. Talent is definitely the number one thing to have. I think no matter who you're connected to, what money you have, the most important thing is still the talent. Yeah.
Well said. So if you would like to, you know, say have the last word if you want, because you already shared with us your long-term goal, right? But what is it that you are very much focused on at the moment that you think will take you to the next level of you right now?
Yeah, well, currently we're leading the European Le Mans series in LMP3 with my team. So the goal for this year would be to continue winning and hopefully win the championship at the end of this year. Winning the championship automatically secures an entry to next year's 24 Hours of Le Mans. So that's the main goal for us. So yeah, for this year I just have to, you know, block out all the noise and stay focused on do my job.
4 more races
Like all
to
the
go.
noises.
Yeah.
4 more races to go. Gael Julien, thank you so much for coming to our studio.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your stay in Indonesia, of course, before you have to get back to business. That business, the racing.
Yes, thank you.
Well, see the stories will continue after the break. Stay tuned with us, and that was Gael Julien with us in the studio.
Sir, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.